don't say a word to them. Just don't even, like, guys who are just being by themselves, they go through a certain, like, behavior, like, notice me, like they want to be noticed, or they, they want attention from this particular guy, and he's not even doing nothing, he's just sitting there or whatever. And why is that? And I'll tell you why. It's because they find him attractive. They are sexually attracted to this man, and it happens on every level, whether it's, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, work, anything. And I've been put in these situations, and 100% of the time I get ignored, or I get treated badly, like, just not badly, but just ignored, like, in a very cold way. And and I've even been told outright by girls that I'm ugly. And like, back in middle school, this kid in my class, he asked a girl, in a jokingly way, in a casual way, in a fun, lighthearted way, would you go out with him, and him being me. And she just looked, and her face just, like, she saw not a ghost, but, like, she was just the sheer thought of it just put that look of just total, like, that negative response, just hell no, no, no. And she just gave off that look, and she just said, "You, hell no, he's ugly." And that's what she said, and she said it with in a quick reflex, like, bam. She didn't even have to think about it. She just said it, like, she didn't have to, like. And when that happened, at the time, it bothered me, but I was still a kid. I was, like, in middle school. I didn't really think about things too much. I didn't dwell on things so much, but so I lived my life, and I just said, whatever, you know, you're not worth the time, like, whatever. And then, but now that I'm older, I look back on that, and it messes with me. It just bugs me, it kind of makes, it kind of confirms something that I never wanted to believe about myself, and that's that I'm ugly, it's just, it's demoralizing, and it really killed my spirit. It really did. It took me, it really killed my spirit. And that's not the only time it's happened. It's happened many, many times. I mean, it's happened in college. It's happened in, all throughout school. And what am I to do? I'm just a human being. I'm not hurting anybody. But and then, I've even had I've had other males, other friends, say that I'm ugly, and I've obviously, stopped. I don't surround myself with them anymore. But they've told me that, and it has damaged me. It is traumatizing, because now whenever I'm talking to another human being, another male, in the future, which is today, like, if I'm at work and I'm talking to another guy, like, I instantly think, like, man, he thinks I'm ugly. Or if I talk to another girl, of course I think, man, she thinks I'm ugly, because I know it's what I am. I am that. I am ugly. I've even had my dad tell me this, that I'm ugly. My own father, and I see it in the mirror. I look in the mirror. I see the ugliness. It's not. It doesn't take a rocket science. it doesn't take a very intelligent. It doesn't. You don't have to be very intelligent to see, that I'm ugly. It just, it is what it is. I've always tried to be lighthearted and be happy, but and I've always been try to be a happy person, and things like that. But it always comes back. When I see, and it always comes back, and it's that feeling of just, no female companion, no, never, you know. It goes back to that, and I just feel that feeling, and even if I didn't want to think about it, I'm forced to think about it because, I don't have a girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend. Honestly, the only way I'm thinking about losing my virginity is, I'm thinking about calling an escort. I actually have tabs on my computer open of escorts. So, and I'm seriously thinking about calling them. They live in my cities, or so, I'm seriously thinking about calling them. And I'm probably gonna do it, save up some money and go see one of these girls, and that, that's just my life. It is what it is, man. It is depressing, but I try not to think about it, but it's just impossible, but I've had my own, like I said before, I've had my own father tell me I'm ugly on multiple occasions. He said it. I've had my mother give me looks, and that non-verbally conveyed the message that you're ugly. I've had people give me looks, strangers give me looks, friends give me looks, that non-verbally convey the message, you are ugly. And like I said, I'm a very sensitive person. I see, little things like subtle, facial expressions, body language, behavior, whatever, tone, inflection, enunciation, like pronunciation, just all these little different things I pick up on. I have a very like acute sense of all that stuff, and I can tell when people are looking at me and they have that very subtle look of you're ugly, like, but it's not blatant. It's discernible though, like you can see it, like it's just like you're ugly, and then like they'll stop talking to me, like I'll be saying something and then they'll stop talking to me, and I knew instantly, like, man, it might not be, but it's probably because he just looked at me and he saw my ugliness and doesn't want to talk to me. And it's happened to me before. I think the perfect example, I have two examples now. If I had one example, that'd be one thing, okay? Or maybe it'd be a coincidence, but I have two examples of this off the top of my head, and I probably have more. Okay, I was back at my old house. I was playing basketball, okay, and I was with a neighbor. I don't really consider him a friend. We hung out, but he's kind of a dick, so I don't like to consider him a friend. But we used to hang out a little bit and play basketball. And I was playing basketball. I think I shot the ball, whatever, and he was just standing there, and we were in the moment, just having fun. And I smiled. I was a happy human being. I was a human being playing, having a physical release, exercising, endorphins rushing and whatever. And I smiled because that's what happy human beings do. They smile. It's like an expression of your happiness. It's your body expressing happiness, expressing joy, just an innocent joy. just not so much bliss, but just in the moment, just having fun, shooting basketball. Well, I smiled, and it was a full smile, showing teeth, of course. And my then neighbor, just looked at me, and he smiled, but it was one of those, what the fuck kind of smiles, like, kind of smiles. And I noticed his eyes were looking at my smile. And it's like you can just see it so clear. I saw it so clear as day. Like, he was just looking at it like I'm ugly. Like, he just saw ugliness in me, and I could just see it. Going back to what I said, I pick up on all these little things, all these little signs, and I just can see it in his eyes. I can see it in his whole look, his body language. He was frozen for a minute, and he was just looking at my teeth, and I knew right away. I do have crooked teeth, and I can just see it, and that's why I'm trying to get braces. But I have to save up for braces because they do cost a lot. But yeah, I just saw it in his eyes. I saw it in his face. He was just looking at me like I'm ugly, and I just knew it. And I try not to be a sensitive person, but experiences like that, I mean, they're bound to affect you in the future. So I didn't really smile. I don't really smile that much. If I do smile, I try to, like, not make sure anybody's really looking. Like, it does kind of make me feel sad when I think about it. Like, damn. And it just reconfirms that I'm ugly. And that's one of the things that girls love, is freaking a nice smile and broad shoulders and a defined jawline. Well, I don't have either of those. Well, maybe kind of a jaw, but I don't have shoulders, broad shoulders. And that's something that even my father told me. He's like, you're like your uncle, you don't have shoulders. He told me that, like, he's told me that multiple times. And it's like, dude, leave me the fuck alone. I know I don't have shoulders, but he just tells me that he tells me, he's like, you don't have shoulders. Like, it's like, I don't have shoulders, okay? Like, Jesus Christ. And it's like, I know I don't have shoulders, and I know that's one of the things, and that's just another sign, another feature that's just another part that girls look for in attraction. And I don't have it, I know, but I am planning on going on the gym or whatever. But it's just hard to keep motivation. I'm rambling, but so yeah, that was my experience. I smiled, and he just looked, and it was just, I knew what he was saying. And whenever I'm interacting with another human, I always anticipate that look they're gonna give me. I always anticipate it. Like, that look, like, man, you're ugly. I just anticipate it. And when they don't give me that look, it throws me off. It really throws me off, because I'm like, wait a minute. Like, come on. And they're probably just a really, truly good person. Or, they're probably just a truly good person, but I always just anticipate it. Like, I know you're gonna look at me weird, like, go ahead. Like, I just keep my head down, I don't want to put myself out there, because, I know I'm ugly. I mean, I've just been